On a fateful day, July 13, 1944, the life of William James Sidis took a tragic turn. Unconscious and on the verge of death, he was discovered by his landlord in his modest Boston boarding house. The cause, a massive stroke. William, widely regarded as one of the most intelligent individuals in history, had an IQ estimated to be between 250 and 300. To put this into perspective, Albert Einstein's IQ was approximately 200. Born to brilliant Ukrainian Jewish immigrants, Boris and Sarah Sidis, William, affectionately known as Billy, demonstrated extraordinary intellectual prowess from an early age. By the tender age of 6 months, Billy had already grasped the alphabet, and at 18 months, he was reading the esteemed New York Times. His exceptional abilities caught the attention of Harvard University, which admitted him at the astonishingly young age of 11. Despite his early achievements, the promise of a perfect life would elude him. William's journey began on April Fool's Day in 1898 in New York City. His parents, driven by violent anti-Semitic attacks in Ukraine, sought refuge in America. Boris, a renowned psychologist, and Sarah, a trailblazing woman who pursued a medical education when few women did, were instrumental in shaping William's development. Boris believed in the importance of early mental conditioning, often quoting the adage, "As the twig is bent, the tree's inclined." They attributed their son's exceptional intellect not to genetics, but to their deliberate efforts in nurturing his mind. From infancy, William was treated as an adult. His parents presented him with a spoon and food, allowing him to observe and figure out how to feed himself. Astonishingly, he succeeded without any formal instruction. This natural inclination for reasoning extended to his approach to language and spelling. Instead of rote memorization, William focused on the underlying patterns and structures. By comprehending the basic principles, he effortlessly mastered 8 languages, including Latin, Greek, German, Russian, Hebrew, Turkish, French, and Armenian, by the age of 8. He even devised his own language, Vendergood, drawing inspiration from various European influences. His parents' dedication to his education was unwavering. Instead of bedtime fairy tales, Greek myths were read to William, allowing him to acquire knowledge about the planets and their mythological origins. Every moment became an opportunity for learning, leaving little room for conventional games and toys held no interest for William, who instead immersed himself in the pursuit of knowledge. As he entered high school, William's only solace came from accompanying his parents on visits to museums, libraries, parks, and zoos, often taking streetcars to these William's only solace came from accompanying his parents on visits to museums, libraries, parks, and zoos, often taking streetcars to these destinations. His fascination with streetcars led him to collect 1,600 streetcar transfers by his 20s. William completed elementary school in less than a year and high school in a mere 6 weeks, astonishing his peers in the media. However, the relentless scrutiny from the press painted him as an oddity rather than a prodigy. Upon his admission to Harvard University, he was depicted as a know-it-all, further fueling the public's fascination with him. During a lecture at the math club, held when he was just 11 years old, he delved into the concept of the fourth dimension, displaying a profound understanding of complex mathematical concepts beyond his years. Although a professor from MIT predicted his future as a great astronomical mathematician, this path was not to be. Shortly after the lecture, he fell ill, becoming the subject of numerous news stories. Rumors circulated that he had suffered a mental breakdown, a label that plagued him throughout his life. William resided with his family on an estate in New Hampshire, which also served as the location for their utopian community known as the Sidisville. This secluded environment aimed to provide an ideal setting for intellectual and social development, away from the pressures and judgments of the outside world. Unfortunately, this endeavor faced numerous challenges and ultimately dissolved, adding another layer of disappointment to William's already complex life. In the following years, William attempted to pursue various paths, often finding himself at odds with societal expectations and struggling to find a sense of purpose. He held a job as a machine inspector, worked as a mathematics teacher, and dabbled in writing and publishing. However, his experiences were marred by his difficulty in adapting to social norms and the ever-present scrutiny from those who saw him as an enigma. As time passed, William withdrew from public life and sought solace in solitude. He retreated to a humble boarding house in Boston, living a simple and unassuming existence. It was there, on that fateful day in July 1944, that tragedy struck, and William Sidis, the prodigious mind that had captivated the world, found himself on the verge of death. In the aftermath of his stroke, William's condition remained critical, and he never fully recovered. Just 4 days after his stroke, William James Sidis passed away at the age of 46, leaving behind a legacy shrouded in unfulfilled potential and the mystery of what might have been. While the world mourned the loss of a remarkable intellect, it also reflected on the complexities and challenges that come with exceptional abilities. William Sidis, a man whose brilliance knew no bounds, struggled to find his place in a society that often misunderstood and misjudged him. Yet, his legacy endures, serving as a reminder of the power and fragility of extraordinary minds. Today, William James Sidis is remembered as a symbol of untapped genius, a tragic figure whose life serves as a cautionary tale about the pressures and expectations that can accompany exceptional intelligence. Though his story remains unfinished, his name continues to intrigue and inspire, a testament to the enduring fascination with extraordinary minds and the complexities of human potential.